All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about addiction again because I feel that it is needed. I feel like a lot of people are struggling with addiction and I want to do my best to help. I want to be the angel on your shoulder in a world where the devil on your shoulder, there's people that are going to try to drag you down. It's much more common to find people who are willing to engage in negative behaviors and patterns with you than it is to find people who try to inspire and uplift you. And in a world of toxicity, in a world of addiction, I want to be a message of hope in your life. I have gone through the pits of hell with addiction and I've climbed my way out, and I know what it's like now on the other side of the fence, so to speak, and I want to help you get there. I believe in you, and I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that it's much easier to get sober than you probably think it is. There is so much confusion and there are so many misconceptions when it comes to the process of getting sober, and so many people think that it's going to be so difficult. You've got this. You can do it. I want to start this message out by saying that I do indeed recommend and suggest that if you're serious about getting sober, that you contact a professional and you go through those channels. It can be very beneficial. So many people avoid and neglect doing this, and it ends up biting them in the ass. You want to make sure that if you're coming off of alcohol, or if you're interested in ending alcoholism and you want to get sober, you want to make sure that you contact a professional in this field, because withdrawing from alcohol can be very dangerous. And it's not something that I recommend doing without the help of a professional, as well as any addiction. Luckily things like tobacco and cannabis, if you're addicted to those things, or if you have a habit of smoking, those things are generally quite safe to stop consuming. You don't really get the whiplash effect, but with alcohol, it can be absolute hell, and I've been there. I've discussed in detail the trips through hell and back that I went through when I went through the delirium tremens experiences that I have. And for those who don't know, delirium tremens is the worst form of alcohol withdrawals. People have said in the past on my videos, oh, there's no way that you went through the DTs. You're too young to have gone through the DTs. I was drinking so much alcohol, and I was drinking on an empty stomach all the time. I was mixing it with different drugs at times. I had an absolutely prolonged period of hallucinations, both auditory, tactile, and physical or visual. I had a period where this strange rash would crawl all across my skin, and I would have, at times like these absolutely vivid hallucinations, both opened eye and closed eye. I felt like I was in one of those things. I can't remember what they call them, but NASA has this space training device where you put your arms in it and it like spins you around. I felt like I was in one of those for quite some time. And seeing all these different hieroglyphs at times with the hallucinations, and seeing dead souls, absolutely intense. I'm not going to get into my experiences with delirium tremens in this video. I am just going to talk a little bit about addiction, and if you're interested in learning more about my experiences with my withdrawals, if you go into my video archive and type in alcohol, a handful of videos will come up. And I've got multiple hours of content here, ladies and gentlemen, to hopefully benefit you. I know what it's like to go through alcoholism. I know what it's like to go through drug addiction. I was addicted to cannabis for years. I was addicted to tobacco for years. There was a period of time where I went through like a pill phase. I don't want to see you go through this, and I want to be the voice that I wish I had. How would I explain it? I want to be a voice of reason for you. I want to come into your life at the right time and try to jar you out of your negative patterns if you're currently in them. And if you're not currently in them and you're watching this video, maybe you've conquered addiction. I also want to nod my hat to you and say congratulations for, pushing up against this evil and coming out whole and defeating it, because addictions are evil, ladies and gentlemen. They kill millions of people every year, and to think that a negative addiction that's killing you is not evil means that you're not looking at it honestly. So I had multiple experiences, ladies and gentlemen, where a higher power tried to wake me up out of my drug-induced and alcohol-induced stupor. I remember one time a friend of mine, him and I got into my vehicle and I drove to a very shady part of town to pick up something that I shouldn't have been buying. And as I approached the destination, I had this absolutely undeniable feeling of guilt, shame, and I just felt instinctually that I was not supposed to be here. I could feel my ancestors with me trying to pull me away from the situation that I was going into. And I knew that I was breaking certain laws, spiritual laws. I was destroying my karma, so to speak, because I was doing something that I knew in my soul I shouldn't have been doing. And I didn't listen to that voice. And when I parked my vehicle out front of this individual's house where I was going to pick up this particular something, and before I continue, let me just say that it was an absolutely sunny day. There were no clouds in the sky. It was beautiful. And in fact, it was, I believe it was summertime. I'm not 100% sure because this was a long time ago, but I do know that there was no chance of rain. There was no chance of storms. It was absolutely just beautiful out. And when I parked my car, I had this dreadful sense of just feeling like I was being watched by something. And all of a sudden I started hearing, I shit you not, hundreds of little smacking noises all over my vehicle. And I looked at my friend like, what the hell is going on? And he was just as bewildered as me. And let me tell you, before people may think, oh, dude, you were having, you know, this and that, you were probably on drugs and you were hallucinating all this stuff. I just want to throw that out there before I continue and tell you guys the story. We were completely sober. It was raining, or excuse me, it was hailing in the middle of a clear day in a 15-foot radius around my vehicle. There was no hail anywhere else. In the middle of a completely clear day with the sun a-shining, ladies and gentlemen, hail was being thrown onto my vehicle violently. And this whole time this was happening, I knew that this was a response to the fact that I was not supposed to be doing what I was doing. The feelings that it invoked, the dread, it was kind of like the stamp on the letter, metaphorically speaking. It was like the sealing of the deal is what I mean. I hope that makes sense. So, and this happened for probably about a minute straight before it stopped. And my friend and I were just kind of just blown away. We both knew we weren't supposed to be there, but I didn't listen. And even though the heavens, you know, parted, so to speak, and hail was thrown onto my vehicle in the middle of a clear day, and this was accompanied with all these feelings of dread and that I wasn't supposed to be there, I didn't listen to my instincts, and I actually ended up going through and buying what I came to buy. And I ended up having one of the worst nights of my life that night when I ingested what I bought, and I'm not going to talk about that in this video. But I have had a handful of these strange paranormal experiences with what I like to call a higher power. And this higher power tried to snap me out of my hypnosis, and it was actually rather patient with me while I stumbled around the third dimension like a zombie, doing my drugs, drinking my alcohol, and acting a fool. The more you neglect the soft voice inside of you that is your internal compass, the more you don't listen to that, ladies and gentlemen, the stronger the bitch slapping will be when it comes around full circle. So you can get away with some stuff at first, ladies and gentlemen. You can not listen to your instincts. You can not listen to your heart, and you can go the opposite direction and stumble and fall. But each time you stumble and fall, you fall harder the next time, because each time you stumble and fall is a wake-up call. And when you don't listen to wake-up calls, it means that you're not listening. And when you're not listening, you have to have the ringer on louder so that you can hear it, so to speak. I hope that makes sense. What I'm saying here is that if you don't listen to the ringer on low, it's going to be turned up, and the bitch slapping is going to be a little bit harder. And many people go through this. There are forces bigger than you in this world, ladies and gentlemen, that want to see you succeed. And unfortunately, for many of us who were addicted at one point, and for many of you who are addicted, you might have your ears muted. You might be looking at reality through the lens of your addiction. And if you look at reality through the lens of your addiction, it makes the truth difficult to hear and understand and accept, because the truth contradicts your addictive patterns. The truth is that you need to get the truth is that you need to wake the hell up, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't mean that in an angry way. I just care about you, and I want to see you thrive, and I want to see you live. And you have the potential to do it. I know if I can do it, you can do it too. This light makes me look like Casper the Ghost. I'm going to just finish up this message. I just wanted to make a short inspirational video reminding you to listen to the wake-up calls. Listen to that soft voice in your heart that knows the right thing. You know how to move forward. You know how to break your addictive patterns. You know the type of relationships you need to get out of. If you're in a relationship right now where you're friends with another addict and you guys use drugs together, you need to either change with that person and they need to be on your same wavelength, or you need to get the hell out of that friendship. And a friend that inspires you to use drugs and drink, that's not a friend. Unless you can have like social drinking or drinks and you know how to handle your shit, and many people don't know how to do this. I mean, alcohol, just because it's legal, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't mean that you should be in relationships with people who drink excessively, because oftentimes those people affect you in a very negative way. And I know that because I used to be one of those idiots. Excuse me, I don't want to call people idiots for drinking, but the type of alcoholic that I was an idiot, because I squandered so many good things in life so that I could continue to drink. But again, you guys, I'm here to tell you that quitting is easy. You just have to go through the right channels, and you have to reach out to people like me and make a decision in life to actually live. You can experience heightened states of bliss and peace if you get sober. You don't have to resort to using drugs as an escape. You don't have to resort to using alcohol as an escape. You don't have to elate your senses and heighten your senses in your mind with drugs. Because when you do that, when you use drugs and alcohol, stimulants, barbiturates, benzos and things like that to calm yourself or to stimulate yourself, you may feel calm during the duration of your high, but once it wears off, you experience, absolutely zero peace of mind. And you start to realize that, hey, in order for me to feel good, I've got to artificially stimulate or just shut my senses off with drugs or with alcohol. So when you learn to cope with reality, or when you learn to enjoy reality only through the context of intoxication, it makes all the time being sober seem boring and non-beneficial. But once you learn to get sober and realize that you're going to feel that much better sober in comparison to stumbling around drunk or high, you just got to wake up. So I'm going to wrap this one up, you guys. Unfortunately, I have to go a little bit earlier. I just got a message and I need to run out the door, but I believe in you. You need to believe in yourself, and please contact me, leave comments, and stay in touch, because I want to see you succeed. Peace be with you. Thank you for watching. I hope that my channel and my messages, my passion, you name it, can inspire you today to take better care of your health. There's nothing more important than taking daily steps towards greater health. Health impacts every part of your life, ladies and gentlemen. Physical, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, you name it. It addresses every part of our lives. Health is indeed the divine foundation that we need to have so that we can achieve the life that we want. This is Lord Ganesh, the remover of obstacles, and I hope that the obstacles in your life, if you have them, can clear, and that you can attain your heart's desire. I do indeed hope that we can achieve a greater state of being here in this world. We weren't designed to have to deal with all this insanity here in this world, and I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, that if we take greater steps towards our health and we envision a greater world, we can get closer to achieving that. So I just wanted to wrap this one up with a thank you. And until next time, peace be with you all.